We are now in San Francisco, and Peter Thomsen and I have put together a 4-day event for the entire company, EdiSoft.
We're here because we want to get some inspiration. We want to be quite sure that we are inspired, that we know what's going on in the world. It's a great trip for everybody and we deserve that. We have accomplished a lot of great results over the last 5 years, so we simply deserve a trip like this. We're also here to build and maintain our culture. We have a great culture for innovation, we have a great culture for running this business, and we want to maintain that culture, and we can do that by being here.
There are 3 elements that are really important for this event. So one thing is to talk about the culture for innovation and how to foster this and how to strengthen this. The second thing is to learn more about tools for innovation, and presenters are giving them some tools that they can apply when they come back. And also it's about motivation and inspiration, and remember that this company has offices in 5 countries and they're very dispersed. Well, this is the first time that 75 of them are together.
I was a bit surprised when I stepped into the room and saw the entire EdiSoft in one room. To me, of course, I knew that we are this many people, but to see them like this, it was almost like a shock, a positive one.
The first day when I saw all these people gathered together, saw the enthusiasm, I actually get a little emotional, and that surprised me because I know them all and I talk to them a lot of time, but they're never together in that way. There were so many and they were so happy, and I get so proud, so I get a little emotional, but I can live with that.
What I want to share with you this morning is basically my experience of having worked with companies like EdiSoft and having been inside these innovative companies. So I have worked at Apple, America Online, Paramount, the movie company, and then I was the original VP of Sales and Marketing at Yahoo. So I really have been part of a number of growth organizations over the years. The opportunity presented itself here in San Francisco to talk with the EdiSoft team about areas of innovation. One of the things that we addressed in my talk today is the 7 ways that organizations can find innovation and creativity. And one in particular that we spent a lot of time on is this concept of intersection. This is where 2 or more ideas from a variety of areas, for example, within EdiSoft, perhaps it's marketing and R&D coming together. It could be different cultures from the different locations within EdiSoft coming together, or it might actually be a mix of ideas that 2 or more people have shared across the organization. And we talked about how this intersection across different parts of the organization can lead to a lot of creative ideas.
I'm Richard Cuthbertson. I'm a research director at the Saïd Business School at the University of Oxford. I think the main message to get across was just what's required in order to carry out innovation. And that's really about 2 things. First of all, yes, you have to have an idea and you have to have some really good creative thinking. But secondly, you then have to have a process to actually take that creative thinking and make it happen. And I think on the ideas side, what I wanted to do was encourage people to go into the future and look backwards. So don't stand in the present and look forward. Yes, by all means, look at some of the really big trends that are happening, and you might like to project into the future about what does that mean? What might the world look like in 5 or 10 years' time? But once you've decided that there's these different types of futures, and there will be different futures because the world will be different for different people. So, for example, even today with the internet, we can talk about an online world, but for some people they're not online. It's not an online world. So it really depends, you know, what market, what consumers and so on that we're looking at. So what I wanted to do was to get people to think about the different futures that there might be and then to go into the future and then look backwards and think about, okay, what does that mean for our firm? How could we operate in this new future? How could we operate in this new world? So how are we going to manage that? How are we going to take that forward? Make sure we're innovating for tomorrow, but make sure we're doing the right things for today. Thank you very much.
It has been fantastic, and I'm quite new in the company, and it's given me a lot of inspiration. So, and I think I also needed that.
EdiSoft is in the market really for the long term, so that you don't have to rush or make fast just some sales. You can really build up the base for the sales and then start to harvest it.
So we're now going to invite you to work on a couple of questions that are really central in this strategy. And so this is a way of summing up and operationalizing some core elements of the strategy and to get all of your ideas and insights about it. So there's this technique that I think is wonderful called the World Café. The World Café is one way of getting collaboration between a lot of people who haven't really met before. So instead of having consultants coming into a company, this is actually a tool for finding out that solutions are very often already in the minds of the employees in a company. What we do is to try to recreate the more informal situation, if you want, in a cafe, but at the same time have some structure. So we have 6 persons at each table, there's one host, and the other 4 or 5, they travel between different tables to new tables, and when they sit down they have a very short, brief but precise question to solve. It is often a complicated question though, like for example how to reduce the number of calls that they need to answer. So in the first round, in the home table, they start with a brainstorming session to solve the problem. So the host stays put, the other travels to other tables. Okay, everybody gets up and you switch tables. Each table is in a way a new world. So that's why it's called the World Café, and we do these in 3-4 rounds, and then in the end, it's a really good way of getting new ideas and adding new ideas to specific problems.
What has been almost on every speaker's lips has been a collaboration. And I think this seminar is all about collaboration.
25. Okay, hello everyone. So now we are on our way to Cisco. The total time in the bus will be about 1 hour.
Welcome. So glad to see all of you, and I want to officially add my welcome to Rune's welcome, thanking you for choosing to stop at Cisco during your journey here. It says a lot about your company that this many of you would be here to share in this discussion and dialogue and the investment in all of you to see how you can develop into the leaders that I know your company is asking you to become. And I have to say, Rune, it's amazing that this number of folks would travel to do something like this. And your company is doing something different and special, that they would devote so much of your time to this. And when you get back to your offices, please say thank you to someone. I'm going to share with you what we've learned. What I would tell you is, if you want to create a culture, in my view, there's 4 things that you need to affect. First, how you make decisions. Second, the values you place in leadership. Third, the way with which you allocate resources. And then fourth, how you hold people accountable. In my experience, those are the 4 levers available to you to shift the culture of any organization. 4 levers that each of you can pull and your organization can pull to create a culture up based on shared goals.
Cisco was a great experience. Just to be there.
Would customers have ever predicted the need for an iPad?
They opened their doors for us and used 3 or 4 hours, and I'm very proud of that, and I take that also as a kind of a recognition of our company.
What we're going going to do today is kind of give you an overview of enterprise social networking, kind of where Yammer fits into it, how you can really leverage it within your business. There's this social revolution that's going on right now. Basically, there's consumer products that are blowing up in this industry, and it's really revolutionizing the way we speak. And if you think about it, there's platforms like Facebook that now have 800 million users. You know, Facebook is actually going to reach 1 billion users this summer, and if Facebook was a country, it would be the 3rd largest country in the world. So kind of in terms of what's next, kind of where we see it is there's going to be this corporate revolution where enterprise social networking is really going to enter the workplace. And you know, we were gratified to see that Forbes actually is on the same page, and they produced an article about social power, about social media kind of revolutionizing the way that companies are going to do business. And that's really what spawned the idea of Yammer.
It's been a really good weekend, a lot of interesting information and yeah, good team building.
I think it's nice. I appreciate all the things we have seen and done, and yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Fantastic. This visit to learn about Intel, it's fantastic.
We hope that there were 3 things that happened during this seminar. One is that everybody feel more integrated on a personal level.
It's been wonderful. I've been learning a lot and seeing a lot and talking to colleagues.
The second thing that I hope is that the culture for innovation gets stronger in EdiSoft and will continue to be stronger.
It's a very nice weekend. I learned a lot about innovation.
We have got a lot of inspiration through the seminars, so I'm waiting for the next date to go to a seminar like this.
And the third thing is that everybody will see how they can contribute to innovation in the company, and that when you bring all of these together, the company will grow faster and be even stronger in the demanding market situation that is ahead of us.